Hey guys, today I'm filming my high-end blush collection and overview. If you guys have not seen any of my other videos in my collection and overview series, I'll have them all linked down below. I'll be linking videos for my entire makeup collection storage of 2016, and I will be linking collection and overview videos for foundation, palettes, bronzers and contours, highlights, and drugstore blushes. So overall, I would consider myself a drugstore girl, but there are some products that I think just perform better from a high-end brands, and one of them is blush. Now there are some really great drugstore blushes out there. Check out my drugstore blush collection. Because I have such high standards for blush, all of those are absolutely phenomenal quality that I would recommend. But high-end blush is my #1 weakness. I have so many of them, especially pinky coral shades, which are my favorite shades of blush. And in this video, I'll be showing you every single high-end blush I own with swatches, but I'm mostly going to be reviewing the formula for you guys. My top 2 blush brands would be MAC and theBalm. They have so many gorgeous colors and really fantastic formulas. I'm gonna leave those for last. The first blushes I have would be the Clinique Cheek Pops. I have 6 total, 2 of the original release and 4 of the added shades. They do have a total of 12 shades in their line, which is fantastic, but the shade selection is geared more toward light and medium skin tones, and people with deep skin might be able to get some of these other colors to work for them as well, but Fig Pop and Cola Pop will look the best on deep skin. So for my Clinique Cheek Pops, I have 3 pink blushes and 3 peach blushes. I have the shade Pink Pop. Here's a swatch of Pink Pop. I have the shade Rosy Pop. Here's a swatch of Rosy Pop. I have Heather Pop. Here's a swatch of Heather Pop. I have Melon Pop. Here's a swatch of Melon Pop. I have Peach Pop. Here's a swatch of Peach Pop. And lastly, I have Ginger Pop. And here's a swatch of Ginger Pop. The first 2 shades I had purchased were Peach Pop and Ginger Pop, and I love these so much that I went and purchased all of those other shades. Those other shades are really pretty, but honestly I could do without all of them, especially Melon Pop. I don't really love that one on my skin, even though I am very fair. I don't tend to like that light of a peach shade. So the really unique thing about Clinique's packaging is that it comes in this clear, thick acrylic, and the blush is in the pattern of a daisy. And I have used this blush so freaking much, and yet you can still see the pattern. It is really deep in this blush, which is amazing. I think that is super cute. A lot of times products have some sort of overspray of a design, but this is a design that goes really deep into the product. I think the Clinique Cheek Pops are the most versatile blush I'm going to show you because of their formula. These blushes with one swipe do give a light wash of color on the cheeks, but these are easily built up without looking too chalky on the skin. The formula is amazing with how buildable it is. Also, it has a fantastic finish. It is a satin blush. It has a little bit of glow to it, but not any shimmer or glitter. So this blush is going to look great with oily skin, dry skin, wrinkles, acne. I'm just so impressed with the formula of these blushes. I would recommend these to anyone if you can find a shade that works for your skin tone. I really do enjoy the formula, and if I use my angled dense blush brush, I can really pack on a lot of intense color. So highly recommend these blushes, and Peach Pop and Ginger Pop are my favorite shades. Next I have another Clinique blush. This is one of their soft pressed powder blushes, just their original blush line, in the shade Nude Clover, which is a really pretty pinky nude shade. Right here is a swatch of Clinique Nude Clover. When I first got this blush, I was not expecting much of this. I didn't really think I would love this color, but it is a staple for the fall time because I tend to wear more dramatic warm tone eyes. This pairs perfectly with those type of looks. This is actually a really pigmented blush, not too crazy overly pigmented, but it does pick up product a lot easier than the Clinique Cheek Pops because it's softer. And this blush line in general has more subdued colors, nothing that's really like wham bam intense. I really do like this formula. It is really pigmented, goes on easily, blends out easily, but because of the shade selection, I will not be buying any more of these, but I am happy to have this and I do get a lot of use out of this in the fall time. Next I have an Estee Lauder blush that was also a gift with purchase. This is in the shade Pink Kiss. Right here is a swatch of Estee Lauder Pink Kiss. Estee Lauder recently revamped their blushes. They have new packaging. They may have tweaked the formula a little bit, but they really do have all the same shades. Now there are some really pretty shades within the line, but my all-time favorite shade is Pink Kiss. So I was really excited to be able to get this in the gift with purchase size because the Estee Lauder blushes are huge. You will never finish up one of those blushes. They're huge, so you definitely get your money's worth, but I love this shade Pink Kiss. It's a really pretty watermelon pink color. This is really pigmented. It also has a really nice smooth formula, easy to blend out. This isn't too sheer, but it isn't overly pigmented either. So I really do love this shade, and I would recommend this shade. It is a really pretty color and has a nice subtle glow to it, but I'm not going to purchase any more Estee Lauder blushes, again, because of the shade range, but I do really like this one. My next blush is from Laura Geller. This is one of her Baked Gelato Vivid Swirl blushes in the shade Guava. This is an intense warm pink color that is so stunning. It has a nice satin finish. And right here is a swatch of Laura Geller Gelato. This blush is crazy pigmented, so you do need to be careful when applying it. I think she might have 4 blush shades in the line, and this was the one that really spoke to me. It is a pretty color. I don't wear it a ton because the formula isn't the easiest to work with. It doesn't pick up on a brush as well. I am going to be using this next month in my monthly makeup basket, so hopefully I will get some more use out of it and find a way to make it work for me. But this is a really pretty color. This was pretty expensive, so I don't regret buying it, but it definitely is not one of my favorite blushes. Next, I have 2 blushes from Tarte. I have a mini from a holiday collection, and I have the coveted, most beloved Exposed blush. I did have a couple other Tarte blushes in Blissful and Tipsy, and I did get rid of them. I love this color so much. The other shades were beautiful too, but I do not like the Tarte blush formula. So I purchased my blushes a very, very long time ago, so they may have changed the formula. I know they've changed the packaging a little bit, so I hope that they perform a lot better, but the full-size single blushes I don't love as much. But these little mini blushes from a holiday collection, these perform so much better. So this one is in the shade Magic, a really pretty matte pinky coral. And right here is a swatch of Tarte Magic. So this is a very smooth texture, really pigmented. I do really enjoy this blush because of the shade. The formula is nice too, so I do like this one. But for some reason with my individual full-size blushes, the blush is packed so tightly. It is really hard to get the product on a brush, and if you swatch this a bunch, or if you have oil on your hands, or you have hand sanitizer on your hands, then you will get hard pan so crazy quickly. Like I said, I do have an older blush, so maybe the newer ones aren't like that, but I got so much crazy hard pan. No matter how hard I tried, I could not get it off. The only reason I have this blush is because I have scraped off basically the entire layer because I've used it so much, so I've gotten to the good stuff. I absolutely love this shade Exposed. It's a really great mauve neutral color that I love wearing in the fall and winter time. And here's a swatch of Tarte's Exposed. So if you guys have purchased the full-size individual Tarte blushes in the past year or two, let me know how your formula is. But because of that, I'm not going to purchase any more Tarte blushes. And even though this formula is nicer, I still don't like this as much as my blushes from MAC and theBalm. So I'm not going to purchase Tarte blushes anymore. I will try to resist the pretty colors because I know the formula just isn't for me. My next blush is Benefit Coralista. This is one of the first high-end blushes that I ever owned. My fiance, then boyfriend, had purchased this for me. It was one of the first gifts that he had given me, and this was such a popular blush back in the day. It is a really light peachy shade, like a creamsicle color. And right here is a swatch of Benefit Coralista. This is a really pigmented color. It is a nice formula, but I don't love it. It is really expensive and I just don't like that creamsicle color on me. It's a little bit too light of a peach for my liking. And the Benefit blushes seem to be really nice and wearable, but I like blushes that are way more intense, so I don't plan on purchasing any more of the Benefit blushes. It's a really nice formula, but the colors are not for me. Next, moving on to my blushes from theBalm, I have 3 of their regular blushes, 2 of their Instain blushes, and I also have theBalm in the Balm of Your Hand palette, which has 2 additional blush shades. I have the shade Down Boy, which is a matte cool tone light pink. Here's a swatch of Down Boy. I have Frat Boy, which is a matte peachy pink. Here is a swatch of Frat Boy. I have Hot Mama, which is a peachy pink blush with a ton of golden shimmer. Here's a swatch of Hot Mama. I have the Instain blush in Swiss Dot, which is a matte burnt orange. And here's a swatch of Swiss Dot. I have the Instain blush in Toile, which is a matte strawberry pink. Here's a swatch of Toile. I have the Instain blush in Argyle, which is a matte warm tone light pink. Here's a swatch of Argyle. I have the shade Cabana Boy, which is a rich berry with silver shimmer. And here's a swatch of the shade Cabana Boy. There are so many reasons why I love theBalm blushes. First off, I think their packaging is adorable. It is all vintage inspired. The Instain blushes look like magazine covers, which is so cute. So I love the vintage pattern, and I also love the actual packaging. It is a sturdy, thick cardboard with a magnetic closure, which I really, really love, and they're also really, really slim. Benefit packaging is really cute, but it's super bulky. theBalm has really, really cute packaging, but it's very thin and compact. All of the blushes I have from theBalm are intensely pigmented. You do need to be careful when working with these that you use a light amount of product. And the Instain blushes actually do stain your cheeks. They are extremely long wearing blushes. My favorite blushes from theBalm would definitely be Frat Boy and Cabana Boy. I love all the ones I have, but these are my 2 must-have shades. And lastly, for my high-end blushes, I have my beloved MAC. I have 1 of the Mineralized blushes. I have 6 of the special packaging limited edition blushes, and I do have a palette with 6 blushes. 2 of these are limited edition that were in plain black packaging, so I depotted them. And then these 4 are permanent. 1 of them is a pro color that you can only buy online or in a pro store, but the other 3 are available in store, online, pro store, counter, everywhere. I have the Mineralized blush in the shade Warm Soul. Here is a swatch of Warm Soul. Here's the packaging of the blushes from the Haste Sailor collection. I have the shade Fleet Fast, which is a satin finish. Here is a swatch of MAC Fleet Fast. Here's the packaging of the blushes from the Wash and Dry collection. I have Hipness, which is a frost finish, but it performs like a satin. Here is a swatch of MAC Hipness. Here's the packaging of the blushes from the Vibe Tribe collection. I have the shade Painted Canyon, which is a satin finish. Here's a swatch of MAC Painted Canyon. Here's the packaging of the blushes from the Temperature Rising collection. I have the shade Ripe for Love, which is a satin finish. Here's a swatch of Ripe for Love. This is the packaging of the blush from the Sharon Osbourne collection. Here's the blush Peaches and Cream, which has a satin finish. Here's a swatch of MAC Peaches and Cream. This is the packaging of the blushes from the MAC Simpsons collection. I have the shade Sideshow You, which has a satin finish. And here is a swatch of MAC Sideshow You. And then I have my blush palette. Like I said, these two were limited edition from the Flamingo Park collection, but they came in boring black packaging, unfortunately. So I just depotted them and put them in my palette. I have the shade What I Fancy, and this is a satin finish. Here is a swatch of MAC What I Fancy. Here is the shade Spring Flock, which is a matte finish. Here is a swatch of MAC Spring Flock. I have the shade Cantaloupe, which is a satin finish, and this is a pro color. And here's a swatch of MAC Cantaloupe. I have MAC Melba, which is a matte finish. Here's a swatch of MAC's Melba. I have Fleur Power, which is a satin finish, but it performs like a matte. Here's a swatch of MAC's Fleur Power. Lastly, I have Breath of Plum, which is a sheer tone finish. And here is a swatch of MAC's Breath of Plum. I love my MAC blushes so much because they come in a lot of fantastic finishes. They have beautiful shades and they are intensely pigmented. I only own one of the Mineralized blushes. This is in the shade Warm Soul. They have repackaged them and it's hideous. And I have heard from some people that the shade of Warm Soul is a little bit different. So check out your CCO to see if you can find the old packaging of the Mineralized blushes. This is the most gorgeous shade. I wear this all the time in the fall. This is the perfect amount of color and it has some beautiful glow to it. This is an amazing color for fair to light skin. I have heard people with medium skin liking this as well, but I think it will show up best on light skin tones. I love my limited edition MAC blushes, especially when they come in limited edition gorgeous packaging. I love collecting them. Every time a new MAC collection comes out, I am always looking to see if they have any blushes, and if they come in beautiful packaging like this, I'm always hoping there will be one color that I love. And as you can see, I do have quite a few blushes from different collections that I really do enjoy. I love the formula and the colors. All of my MAC blushes I would consider holy grail except for these two from the Flamingo Park collection. They're still really nice formula and beautiful color. I think I'm just so let down that I didn't have any beautiful green packaging with pink flamingos on it. Like, why didn't they do that? That is so sad to me. It's the first time I bought a limited edition blush in the plain black packaging, so really bummed out by that, but I do still like the formula and these colors. And if you are looking for blushes from the MAC Permanent line, they have a huge shade selection, multiple different finishes. I absolutely love all of the ones I have. They're great colors and very pigmented. Let me know if you guys have experienced this as well, but I feel like the blushes in the pan form are way softer and more pigmented, and the blushes in the pot versions are still very pigmented, but they are a bit more stiff to the touch. They pick up easily on a brush, but in a swatch, not so much. Just let me know if you guys have noticed that or not. I feel like the same with the eyeshadows, but definitely with the blushes. So like I said, my blushes from theBalm and MAC are my all-time favorite for the colors and the formulas. So guys, that was my high-end blush collection and overview. I would love to know your favorite high-end blushes. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.